Shabbat Shalom, almost. Anyway, I'm recording this on Friday morning. And this week's Parsha is Parshat Truma. It begins with a description of the Truma, the gifts or offerings, that God requires from the Israelites to build the Mishkan, the portable tabernacle that they will carry with them in their travels throughout the desert. The gifts are plentiful and varied. There's precious metals, precious stones, various kinds of wool, animal skins, acacia wood, spices, oils, incense. The sages have gone to great lengths to explain just how they came by all those materials. Rashi, for example, says that Jacob planted acacia trees in Egypt, having been told by God they would be needed for this purpose. And the Israelites chopped them down and brought them with them in the desert. Still, it stretches modern credulity to think that the Israelites, while escaping so quickly that they couldn't wait for their bread to rise, were nonetheless able to collect a long list of building materials and then transport them with them on foot. In alternate midrashic translation or explanation, a little of each, in Exodus Rabbah reads, the verse 25:2, Vayikuli Truma, not as take for me an offering, but take me as an offering, me being God, indicating that God is telling the people that by creating the Mishkan, they are taking and being taken by God. This is consistent with a long-standing Jewish tradition, dating back to the prophets, of viewing the Jewish people as married to God. The instructions for the Mishkan are very detailed, including the size of the curtains and exactly what they should be made of and what they must be decorated with. Later on, in Exodus 36, we're going to read very similar passages describing the actual construction of the Mishkan. The repetition of all the details suggests that it's very important to get it just right. God will dwell among the people in the Mishkan, but God has very specific ideas about home decor. Why such emphasis on the details of the Mishkan? Many scholars believe that the sections about the Mishkan were written by members of the priestly class, and the emphasis on detail reflects their concerns about ritual correctness. If the priests did write about the Mishkan during the time of the temple, they would have written about it while looking at the contents of the temple. Then they would have taken the ritual objects and decorations and retrojected them back onto the Mishkan. On the other hand, Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sacks has a more spiritual explanation. Isn't that a great title, by the way, Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sacks? He's the former chief rabbi of England, and I love his works, but I also love his title. He says that working hard at this task, taking exacting care to build to the specifications, was a way to help the Israelites move away from a slave mentality. This project was divinely designed to teach them to care about the work they did and to care to do right for God. Rabbi Sacks says that being released from slavery was not enough for transformation, that they needed to take that process literally into their own hands. It is not what God does for us that transforms us, he says. It is what we do for God. And in this is the message we have about leadership here, I think. As a leader, you need to think not only about the product your team is working on, but also about the process. How can you, as a leader, inspire the people you are leading to become a cohesive whole, to care about one another and about the mission? Let us all take from this Parsha the message that working together has a meaning beyond the product, a meaning that we as leaders help our team to infuse into the project.